If you want to retire comfortably, you don't need to become a stock market expert. You don't need to predict which company will be the next big winner. And you definitely don't need to spend your entire day watching stock prices. But investing for retirement can actually be much simpler than people think. Before you choose an investment, you need to answer one basic question: what are you investing for? If your goal is retirement, you're not investing just to see a number go up. You're investing because you want your money to help support the life you want later. The next thing you need to know is how long you have before you need the money. Someone investing for 30 years can usually think very differently from someone who needs the money in 3 years. If you're going to need the money very soon, taking a lot of investment risk may not make sense. But if you're investing for a retirement that's decades away, you have much more time to ride through market ups and downs. And before you even think about choosing an ETF or a stock, you should have a rough idea of how much you actually spend. Because your retirement goal ultimately comes back to one thing: how much does your life cost? Once you know your goal, your time horizon and your spending, you can finally start thinking about how to invest. And that's where we start in the next part. One of the biggest mistakes beginners can make is investing money that they might need in the near future. Imagine putting your emergency savings into the stock market, and then suddenly needing the money when the market is down. That's why I like the idea of having an emergency fund before investing aggressively. It's simply money that's easy to access when something unexpected happens. A common starting point is somewhere around 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. But there's no universal number. Someone with a stable income may choose a different buffer from someone who is self-employed or already retired. Let's say your essential expenses are $2,000 a month. 6 months of expenses would be around $12,000. That doesn't mean you have to keep exactly $12,000. It's simply a way to think about the size of your safety net. You might be thinking, why not invest all of it? Wouldn't that give me a better chance of earning higher returns? Maybe. But the problem is that investments can fall exactly when you need the money. And there's another important distinction. Your emergency fund isn't really there to maximize returns. Its job is to give you financial breathing room. Once you've built a reasonable safety net, you can start thinking about the money that's actually meant for the long term. And that's where investing becomes much more interesting. Now that you've built your safety net, the next question is probably the one you've been waiting for. What should you actually invest in? There are thousands of stocks, funds, and investment products out there. And that's exactly why beginners can easily become overwhelmed. But you don't necessarily need dozens of different investments. One option worth understanding is an ETF. An ETF, or exchange traded fund, is a fund that can hold many different investments inside it. Instead of buying one company, you can buy a single fund that gives you exposure to a whole group of companies or other assets. The big advantage is diversification. If you own just one company and that company has a major problem, your entire investment can be affected. But when your money is spread across many companies and sectors, one company has less power to determine your entire result. And diversification doesn't only mean owning different companies. It can also mean spreading your investments across different countries, industries, and types of assets. There's another thing I pay attention to: fees. A fund that charges a small fee may not sound very different from one that charges a higher fee. But when you're investing for decades, those costs can compound too. And this is where I think simplicity can be powerful. Instead of constantly trying to predict the next winning stock, you can build a diversified portfolio designed for the long term and keep contributing consistently. Of course, diversification doesn't eliminate risk. A diversified portfolio can still fall when markets fall. The point is to avoid depending on one investment to determine your entire financial future. So now we have the basics. You know your goal, you have a safety net, and you understand why diversification matters. But there's one question left. How much should you actually invest every month? The answer isn't the same for everyone. You shouldn't invest an amount just because someone online says that's what you should be investing. The right amount is an amount you can invest consistently without putting your everyday life under pressure. Let's start with something small. Suppose you invest $100 a month. It may not feel like much today. But the important thing is that you're building the habit of investing and giving your money time to compound. Now imagine you can invest $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year going toward your long-term future. Over many years, your contributions can potentially grow through compound returns. And if you can invest $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. The larger your contribution, the faster you can potentially build your portfolio. But remember, a higher contribution doesn't guarantee higher investment returns. Here's where time becomes really powerful. Imagine investing $500 every month and earning an average annual return of 7%. After 10 years, your contributions would total $60,000, while the portfolio could potentially be worth around $86,500. After 20 years, you would have contributed $120,000, but the portfolio could potentially grow to around $260,000. And after 30 years, your contributions would total $180,000, while the portfolio could potentially reach around $610,000. These are illustrations, not guarantees. Real markets don't deliver a smooth 7% every year. But there's an important reality check. Markets don't grow in a straight line. Some years can be very good. Other years can be painful. That's why the strategy isn't about predicting what happens next month. It's about building a plan you can stick with for many years. If I was starting from zero, I wouldn't try to make it complicated. I'd first build my emergency fund. Then I'd choose a simple, diversified investment strategy. I'd automate a monthly contribution that I could comfortably afford. And most importantly, I'd give the strategy time to work. And that's really the lesson I want to leave you with. You don't need to find the perfect investment. You don't need to predict the market. And you don't need to start with a huge amount of money. What matters is starting with a plan that fits your life, investing consistently, and giving yourself enough time. Because ultimately, investing isn't about becoming rich just for the sake of being rich. It's about giving your future self more choices, more freedom, and hopefully, the ability to spend your time doing the things that actually matter to you. So, if you're starting your investing journey, start simple. Start with what you can afford. And stay consistent. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please like the video, subscribe to Retire Simple Life, and let me know in the comments. How much are you investing every month? I'll see you in the next video. Retire Simple. Life freely.